Live stream. My name is Shane Olson, and I'm happy to have you here with me today. We're going to be continuing with this guy from Sandro Clouseau. He's just a super duper funny concept. I love all these expressions that Sandro's come up with, and we're going to attempt to do at least one of these expressions, if not more. We'll try. Anyway, hopefully it works out. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So thanks for hanging out with me, and let's get to it. Okay. Hopefully this thing's going. Hey, what's up, Neil? Hey, Sarah, how are you? Of course, I'm going to have to go have a coughing fit the second I start. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make this guy posable. And right now he's not very posable because he's still in Sculptress Pro mode, which is these little tiny triangles. So, and I'm still trying to figure out if I want to actually join his mouth to his head. I need to make some teeth and a tongue, especially if I'm going to do this expression where his mouth is open. So, I think I do want to connect things. All right, Neil, nice. How's that going? Going all right? Hey, Sneer, how are you? Okay. Hopefully this goes well. It could be a train wreck, but we'll see how it goes. Good to hear. Sweet. Okay, so I want to increase this to be smoother. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. I'm not hacking the whole stream. Okay, so now I'm going to open his mouth just to have some separation here. Let's see how far up into there it goes. Okay, not bad. He's like the side of his mouth, like, hey, see? I need to really give him a mouth cavity now, which is easy since I have these pieces. Well, easier, I guess. In fact, I can polygroup a loop. And how you do that is you go to the Z modeler, and I can go to polygroup, and then click on polyloop, like so. And then you can see this little orange line that tells you the direction you're going to polyloop in. And so if you click it in the direction of that line, it will give you a new polygroup in that direction. So you can see now I have this, and now I can extrude. Hey, Kinyo. Hey, Brad. How are you guys doing? So I'm going to turn off dynamic for a moment. And I can extrude polygroup all. So whenever you're using the Z modeler brush, you can use, so this is the action you're going to do, and this is the target, and these are the modifiers. And that works with anything you're pretty much doing, like vertices, edges, faces, whatever you want to do. Hey Bristol, how you doing? That is a name I have not heard before. What a unique name. Oh, you're done with work? Nice. Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? Okay, so I can click on one of these faces now and push it in. And you can see it's kind of extruding in a strange direction. Hey, Lynn. Goodness sakes. Oh, I wish I had a mute on my mic. Hey Leonard, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay, hopefully it's not a hack cough fest. So I'm just going to mask off this newly extruded piece, center the gizmo, and then scale it down. Basically creating a mouth cavity. I want to make it quite big. Well, maybe not that deep. Because I need the gums to have somewhere to rest along the edge here. I'm not really going to give him a throat per se. Clear the mask. Yeah. Hey there, how's it going? Alright, let's just move this a little closer here. Whoops. I need symmetry on. Looks like my symmetry is off. So back in the back, let me do a quick mirror and weld. There we go, fix that. Oh, looks like we got issues up front here. So whenever you have symmetry issues, all you have to do is drag the offending verts across the center line, because ZBrush will mirror from left to right. So as long as you kind of push that stuff over, you want to turn off local symmetry right here whenever you do mirroring. Otherwise it'll mirror on itself rather than across the world. Click on mirror and weld, see how it fixed those areas. Let's look for any other ones, and we should be good. Turn on symmetry back on, and we're good to go. There we go. Turn on dynamic, make it all smooth. Now we have a mouth cavity. You can see his neck kind of stuck in there, peeking its way through. So what I can do is turn off the upper mouth, or hide it. This looks so funny. And then just push it back in. You like that? Can you see a video after and replay? Yes. So all of these go up to the I think it's still Pixelogic's live ZBrush live YouTube channel. I don't know if they've changed over to Maxon or not. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have any upper lip. Hilarious, right? Okay. Okay, now I want to do the same thing with the upper lip. Wherever that went. That's an old... There it is. Okay. Now make sure... Yeah, not at all terrifying. Okay, now we can do the same thing with this. Now with this one, I think I'm just going to drag, well, maybe I'll do the same thing. So, ZModeler, polygroup, boom, extrude, push it up in there. Do you always block characters by dividing by parts, or do you usually block everything at once, like from a sphere? I am actually, I'm kind of known for blocking out my characters using primitive shapes. That's kind of my thing. Yeah, I block everything out with primitive shapes. Let's see. I was going to show you. I was just going to look up and see what happened. So I teach an online course called the 3D Character Workshop, and in the course, that's how I teach a blockout method. I was just going to pull it down. You can see some of my students block out. So here's one of them. Pinterest. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this was a screenshot of a whole bunch of my students' work, a crazy amount of blockouts. Yeah, that was back in the day. I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago. But anyway. Okay. Thanks for the question. Yeah, for sure. I remember, I mean, I don't want to claim to have come up with it, but I can remember the day when I thought about blocking out characters using primitive shapes. I was sitting there during the end of I worked on Disney Infinity, and during the end of that I was like, I'm a huge fan of Preston Blair and his work, and he always does primitive shapes with his characters to keep them on model when he's animating, and I'm just like, I wonder if that would work in 3D. And turns out it did. Do you believe this can work for realistic characters too? Absolutely. It's not too common because realistic characters are usually 3D scanned, or they start out with a like a base mesh, you know, of a human. So it's not very often that you would do that. But with stylized characters like this, I absolutely use this method for making my characters. Thanks, Andrew. Fill with blockout gets you out of the valley of the suck. Yep. Okay, I want to make these lips better. Thank you. You know, I think I might put in one more edge loop here. Right there. There we go. I just want to make a better lip shape right there, so it's not so soft. Then I would need to get rid of this bump in his lower chin right there. There we go. Okay. You sent a reference for a job test, but the artwork was for Mid-Journey? Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Excuse me. I don't know what to say about that. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I just saw that this was being overlapped in a weird way. Gotta fix it. Yeah, that is disturbing. And people winning art contests with AI generated art is just, you know, what? Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? I mean, there's already those like Snapchat filters that turns you into a Disney character, you know? It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I believe that too, Cricket. It's like you know, video killed the radio star, right? But radio's still around. It's like you know, and everybody said 3D is going to kill 2D, and we still have 2D animated movies, and I don't know. It's just, yeah. I'm not too concerned about it, but it's just funny to hear things like that. Like, it's more like a, you know, really? It kind of goes into the face of how, like, the integrity of somebody who chose AI art over a real designed thing, you know? But whatever. To each their own. Yeah, the sky's falling. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep, that's true. I wouldn't panic at this point. I'll just say that. Or ever. I think it's kind of interesting, honestly. The craziest one I saw was somebody put Chris Farley as the Joker. Now, that one blew my mind, I have to say. I was like, wow, okay. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but it was pretty impressive to me. Please make a video on rendering. I don't do rendering during my live streams here because I'm basically I'm demonstrating what ZBrush can do. Sometimes I'll render like in ZBrush with some comic style rendering, but I do all my rendering outside of ZBrush. So and this is the ZBrush's live stream, so I don't really record my rendering process here. Yep. Okay. So, sorry I'm being tedious about this. I'm just setting it up. I got to give him some teeth and some gums and a tongue. And then I need to work out the edge loops and how I'm going to I'm going to pose this guy. Do I just use AI generated art? Yeah. Way back in the 80s. Desktop publishing was going to end graphic design careers. Yeah. Oh gosh. UV master question. When I finally get to unwrap, later it says I have no UVs. Is that because poly painting can? No, you can destroy your UVs in several ways inside of ZBrush. You just need to be careful. Those ways, once you have created UVs on your character, you don't want to do any welding, any cutting, anything that edits the mesh in any way as far as changing the topology or geometry. So you can use the move brushes and move stuff around, but you don't want to cut anything or weld it, or because that will make your UVs go away. Yeah, Thomas, isn't that nuts? That's, I think out of everything I've seen, that is the most impressive. Thanks, Alan. I gotta show you guys. Yeah, oh my gosh. This is nuts and a little scary. Look at this. What? That's awesome. This is AI generated. I can't believe it. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, crazy to me. That blows my mind. I know, right? I would love Chris Farley as the Joker. He would have been perfect. Perfect. Dang it, Chris. Gosh. Apologize. I had COVID a while ago and it's just hanging on. Henrock, yes, that is true. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh goodness, that's cool. Wow. Okay, let's get these gums and teeth made. So again, I'm going to make him look creepy and delete his lower mouth so I can put his teeth in his upper mouth. Took about 30 days to, wow, that's insane. Glad I'm not the only one, honestly. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay. So, in order to make these teeth, I'm going to insert a cylinder. Let's do reset the gizmo. There we go. Yeah, thanks to Maxon, right? They were kind enough to have my 3D Character Workshop qualify for that educational bundle. Usually my Character Workshop doesn't because it's not accredited like a college would be or something like that. But yeah, since I've been a streamer with them for so long and I'm friends with them, they were kind enough to allow the course to qualify. So super cool. Thank you, Maxon, Pixelogic. Okay. Auto groups. No, I don't want to auto groups. I want to group by normals. There we go. Hey, thanks, Chris. You know, the part where you can actually watch some previous episodes where I make the hair, you can watch that back. Okay, then I'm going to delete this piece. Here, let's do a double-sided. Delete this. Come on. There you go. And then delete. No. Let me do this. There we go. Hey, welcome, Carlos. That's awesome. Oh, great, Thomas. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. Let's bring this back. Let's take a look at how this is laid out. Okay. Oops. Hey, Ramon, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay. Let's extrude these in. Well, let's cut a couple insert edge loops here to even it out. Pineapple juice, huh? I actually had some pineapple juice in my smoothie this morning. I wonder if that will help. But maybe, yeah, maybe right. Maybe just a solid apple juice straight would help. Thank you. Okay, so extrude, polygroup all. Just bring these on in. Isn't the type of sculpt you find yourself using Noisemaker with? I only use Noisemaker if I'm doing specific patterned surface detail. But other than that, I don't really use it. Thanks, Wilworth. How are you doing? Where do you stay? What do you mean? Like, where do I live? Hey, Ian, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Whoops. I need move infinite. Okay. Let's just kind of squeeze this in. I repeatedly thought about picking up the course, but just don't feel like I have the time with both Ryan and Chris working with our students. Yeah, I'd love to have you in there. That'd be awesome. Doing good, doing good. Hey, what's up, Charlie? How are you doing? Bread or spaghetti? How about both? Garlic bread with spaghetti. Looks so funny without his lower jaw, like some kind of zombie or something. Okay, let's turn off uncrease all, subdivide. Okay, and then I want to thicken. So basically gums are thin at the front and then they get thicker as they go back. Carbs with carb sauce. You know it. Do you have any idea of best animation in your country? Like for film? I mean, I don't understand the question. There's a whole bunch in the US. I'm from the US. So Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks, you name it. Now Riot is getting in on the game with their stuff. Netflix. There's a lot. Wall-E was just added to the Criterion collection. Interesting. I saw that. Sorry, this is just tedious pushing points. Hey David, how are you? Okay, now with the gums, there's a few things I can do. I can change this into a sculpting mesh and then just kind of move the gums up to make room for the teeth, or I could cut in edge loops and then push the edge loops up and keep it low polygon like this, which I think that's what I'm going to do, because if you guys know me, I'm a huge fan of low polygon meshes. So let's just go ahead and do that. What's the best animation school to join? I would guess CalArts. I would also say Noman. They're both in California, Hollywood. Expensive. Okay, let's see. So make some room. Just cut in a bunch of edge loops here. I think I want to cut one across as well. I'll use 2 edge loops for the front teeth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I know the owner of Noman, Alex. He's great. And a lot of people really like that school, and you get a great education, even though it is expensive. So if I were to go to an actual school, I'd probably go there if I could. So something like this, just to and I could cut it down this way. And then push these out kind of in this direction. Maybe. I'll have to get the teeth in there and then move them around a bit more. But basically what you can do is do something like this, widen them. Okay. Let's not have it like skin colored. Let's change it to more of a reddish, pinkish. Go darker. Something like that. Let's see what it looks like in his mouth. And he looks like Gummy. Like, hey, you guys see my dentures in my lower jaw? Is your female pirate figure printed in one piece except the base? No, it's actually quite a few pieces. Yeah, it's in all sorts of pieces. Okay, I think I'm liking that. Let's give him some teeth. Teeth. I like to call them teeth. And for that, we'll just insert a sphere. Let's go with a whitish, yellowish color. Something like that. It's both actually. Is it animation or film effects? They teach both. They teach mainly for games, but they also teach some film stuff as well. Teeth. Yep, you can pick up ad hoc courses. Yep. So if you don't want to actually go to the school there live, you can buy courses and videos and things that they have on offer. Hey Ram, how are you? Welcome. You've studied in a lot of people have. Speaking of Gnome and Letitia, yay, I love Letitia. She was streaming yesterday on their channel and she was praising your course. Aw, Letitia. She's the best. She's amazing too. Holy cow. She has worked everywhere. She's worked at DreamWorks and Blizzard and Netflix. And now she's at Disney Feature. She is a powerhouse. Hey, Angry, how are you? Okay. See how after you have these gum holes, I guess. What'd you call me? So, oh, you had her as your teacher? Awesome. Well, if you see her or talk to her, say hello. Will you make all those in the image as blend shapes or just the one? I don't understand what you mean. I don't usually... Oh, am I making all these blend shapes? No, that's what you could do. You can make them blend shapes for animation, stuff like that. But for me, it's just kind of practice. Yeah, chiclets. Nice teeth. You have learned animation and VFX? I have not. No, I did not go to Gnomon. Gnomon wasn't around when I was first learning. I've been doing this for a long time. I started in 1998. Got to give him some gangle to his teeth a little bit, huh? Hold on a second. Okay. Gotta see him with those teeth. Yep, Gomer. Yeah, just the front teeth. He's like, hi. Here, let me give him his bottom mouth. It's a little bit too narrow. I need to widen them out, don't I? Okay, let's see. Let's grab these and pull them out. Hey, Creative, how are you? These make me laugh. I want to make them bigger. Let's see. Just inflate them a little bit. Oh, funny. So in animation, you can hide and show teeth in certain instances, depending on what's going on. Yeah, for sure. I just sometimes like hiding the lower jaw. It just makes me laugh, you know? It's just funny, no matter who you are. Bubba J. Oh, yeah, from Jeff Durham. Totally. I didn't really even think about that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Got to turn local symmetry back on. Oh, thanks, Creative. Appreciate it. I want to make face modeling in Maya, but in easy. So just so you know, you're watching the Maxon channel, not the Autodesk channel. So this is all ZBrush, ZBrush Live. You're watching ZBrush Live. This is the official ZBrush channel. So I only teach ZBrush on this live stream. Molars. I'm probably starting the molars too early, but that's okay. Too early down the chain of teeth. I think there are a couple more in there. Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah. There's 2 little ones before the molars, but that's okay. The old woman's sculpt I did, if she didn't have her hair or jewelry, she looked like... You're going to send me into a coughing fit. Oh. Okay, I think that's enough. I know that's not realistic teeth. This is stylized character, so whatevers. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to round these out, not make them look so molarish. Kind of like these right here. Just going to soften them up a little bit. Gonna look a little more cartoony. Yeah. Any tips for beginners who don't have any artistic skills? If you don't have artistic skills, you're going to have to learn both the art and the tech at the same time. It's much easier if you do have artistic skills to learn software. But if you don't, then I suggest just using reference and, you know, trying to copy the reference as close as possible, kind of like I am, and just experiment, practice, and you'll just get better and better at each character you do. But really pay attention to your measurements and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's totally possible. You want to learn Blender. So just so you know, this is Maxon's ZBrush Live, the official ZBrush Live channel. So I like to keep the conversation talking about ZBrush. I hope you understand. Yep, just start. Artistic skills are built. Got to push through the confusion on the other side. Yep. Absolutely. That's good advice. Using the same, okay. What would my ZBrush workflow be if you had to make a list? Well, I actually have it listed in my 3D character workshop in the order that I typically go in. And that's character block out. So I block everything out and then I merge stuff together and then I start to detail things, add clothes, add hair, and then paint, like poly paint, coloring, until I get all the way to the end of the high resolution character. And then I will make low resolution versions, typically either retopology or by Z-remeshing, depending on what I'm going to do with it. And then I will either take it to 3D print or take it to game character or both. It just depends on where it's going to be going. So hopefully that helps. There you go. Hey, thanks. Welcome, welcome. Carlos, that's completely up to you. Yeah, I'm not sure. What about if you're pairing for Substance Painter? Then you'll have to do retopology UVs to get it, to push it over there. You'll have to make it deformable geometry, which just means low resolution. Okay, let's see. Ooh. How to read and apply references. Well, just like I'm doing right here, these are my references over here. And so you basically just have to break them down into their most simplest forms and then build up from there. You can watch some of my past live streams and you will see that I do the same thing every single time over and over and over again. Just a slightly different approach for every character, but for the most part, the workflow is the same. This is ZBrush. Digital sculpting software. All right, top teeth. That's hilarious. I like it. In fact, I'm going to pull these teeth down just a little bit more. And then we can copy this. Let's save it. Yeah. Okay. I like that there's this big gap back here. So let's duplicate these. And then we're going to spin them around. What's your dream tool or modification to a tool in ZBrush you'd like? I'd love if spotlight projection had a way to store or measure where the last spot I used was. There is actually. So if you go up to texture, you can save your spotlight right there. See that? And you can save it out. And then when you open up ZBrush again, you can load your spotlight back in here and it will remember where your last image was. Is that what you're looking for? Those gums are sticking through, but we'll get it working. Let's clean this up a little bit. You can match and store cameras too. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. I can get rid of this one. Okay. That is a crazy overbite. Kind of like my overbite. My top teeth cover my bottom teeth when I bite down. But it's not like this. Not like this. Okay. Because I want to hide everything except for this and this. Hey Slug, how are you? Welcome, welcome. You're welcome, Bristol. Happy to help. Yeah, sometimes there are things in there that you just don't know about. A lot of things. I call them hidden gems, but ZBrush is so... it can be so complex at times. that it's hard to know where everything is. Let's see. I forgot to turn on symmetry. I think. There we go. Is this the same workflow used when making Boba for the most part, you know, yes and no. I've changed up my workflow a bit since then. It's been a long time. Hey, what's up, Mike? How are you? I was just thinking about you the other day, wondering what you were up to. How goes? Okay, bottom teeth don't have big chiclet teeth, so you need to make these littler. Make this littler. Whoa. Let's mask this off. Doing great. Working super stylized on this new Batman show. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, congrats, man. That's awesome. Very cool. Mike was one of my earlier students. It's so fun to see how far you've come in. That's great. You know, I have to say, that's one thing. When I made my course, it was more, I hate to say it, a little bit selfish on my part, just because I was looking for kind of a safety net for myself between studios, because, you know, studios, whether it being film or game studios, when the film is over, there's a good chance you're going to be laid off. When the game is done, there's a good chance you're going to be laid off. So I wanted kind of this safety net, and it turned out that the course was super popular, so I ended up doing that full time for the last 5 years. And the thing I didn't expect, well, I didn't expect it to be as successful as it has been. And the second thing is, I did not expect the success to come out of it that people have had, and moving on and getting jobs, and it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. That makes me so happy. You made my day, man. There is some extended Spotlight action, like store and load Spotlight on startup in the ZBrush utility, which is indeed a plugin from Pixelogic. Yeah, you can go find that on the ZBrush download page. Good point, Mark. Thank you. All right, let's pull out these gums now. So just so you know, if you have something masked off and you're using the topological button, sometimes you'll find that nothing will move. You're just like, why isn't that moving? And it's because topological is masking. So if you already have a mask and you're trying to use topological masking, that's like two same poles of a magnet trying to work against each other, right? So you want to turn topological off if you're using masking. Thanks, Neil. All right, let's inflate this a bit just to get rid of that overhang. There we go. Scooby-Doo double mask situation, yeah, for sure. I would have gotten away with it too. Okay. There we go. Bottom teeth. So if you didn't know this, you can hold down Shift and click on this eyeball and it will either hide everything or show everything. So, looks like I have my ruler showing. I'll hide that. All right, let's make a tongue and we're good to go, and we can start working on making his head able to do some expressions. So, you know, I kind of showed everything too hastily. I want to show the bottom teeth and the bottom mouth, and because that's all I need in order to make a tongue. How are you liking your new workstation setup? Are you finding it more productive? Funny you should ask, Leonard. Yes and no. Yes and no. I really, really like it, but I'll have to send you an email and tell it. But excuse me. There's I'm second guessing the whole Mac thing a little bit, because there's just software that's just not available, and it's PC only, and it drives me crazy. For example, there's this iPad application called Cozy Blanket, and it's by the guy. It's by two guys, but mainly Pablo DeBarro is making it, and he made a ZBrush plugin. And basically, what it is, it's a retopology UVs and baking on your iPad, which is nuts, and it's awesome, and it looks really great. And those are some, three of the things that ZBrush could use. So, and they wrote a plugin to work with ZBrush, but it's PC only, and so I'm just like, oh, dang it, So just little things like that, are just kind of like, oh man. Okay, let's fill. Excuse me, jeez. Like I said, I'm still got the COVID hacks, so I apologize for the coughs. Just want this to kind of go down his throat back here. I mean, you only really see it in a few, but it's in there, so we got to put it in. Let's use this cloth brush to put a valley down the middle. There we go. Kind of reminds me of that scene on Beetlejuice when that lady goes and pulls her head open. And you see her teeth and tongue and everything in there. Okay, I want to split this off because I don't want it. During your learning process, what part do you find most difficult to get it done properly? Like sculpting certain characters or a specific part of the body? I'll have to say it's always a challenge to nail the concept on the face or get the likeness of the face. So faces are always the most difficult. Even though I've been doing it for a long, long time, it's still the most difficult area. Especially female faces, because they're so subtle. But they're also the most challenging and the most fun, most rewarding, I find. Nice, Leonard. Yeah, we should do like a Zoom call or something. Okay. Pull these. I gotta realign these better. When trying to find a job for characters, would it be better to do the topology by hand, or would it be better to use third-party software? You could go either way on that, but you need to know the retopology by hand as a skill. You'll be more hireable, so I recommend learning how to do proper retopology and not relying on stuff like ZWrap. ZWrap is good because, it's one of those work smarter, not harder things. But yeah. Okay, let's see. this guy's teeth. How y'all doing? Okay, let's see. Bring this on down. He's like a horse mouth now. Like horses have a big gap back here, so he's looking very, very horse mouthish. In fact, I'm gonna pull these top teeth back here a little bit more and give him more of a lip to hang out over those teeth rather than his teeth being clear out there, I think. Yeah, so Manny, that's a great advice from Matthew. The Anatomy for Sculptors is a fantastic book. There's so many different ways to learn anatomy. I actually teach anatomy in my online course called the 3D Character Workshop. I don't know if, I mean, it costs money, so I don't know if you're looking for a paid thing or not, but hold on a second. I want to overlap those. Let's pull this in. What do you do when you want to do something but don't know what to do and keep searching for tons of references? I don't know that I have advice for that. I've been there. It's kind of like just like, you know, looking for a show on Netflix and you just end up not watching anything except for the menus, right? Yeah, sometimes you just, it's really rough to figure out what you want to sculpt. And yeah, you just keep looking. Okay. And I do have some free resources for you. I have this must not be symmetrical. I have a Pinterest page that has a lot of anatomy reference in it that you could use. I'll link it here in a second. Maybe if you wouldn't mind linking it, Neil, to the anatomy. Ah, yes, Proco. Proco.com is another really, really great resource for anatomy. I'd probably say Proco's my favorite. He teaches anatomy for figure drawing, but it totally 100% translates to sculpting. Hey, thanks, MJ. Yeah, this hair is fun. I actually was able to pull it off with fiber mesh. It's still a little chunky, but I like it. I like where it ended up. Looks like he's about to like say, "Howdy, ma'am," and like tip his hat or something. Okay. So we got the teeth, we got the tongue. I think those were a success. I mean, you only really see his bottom teeth in the one thing, but that's okay. Yeah, Proco's great. You know, I have to give my hats off to Proco because his name is Stan Prokopenko, the guy who started that. When I first started doing research on how to do an online course, he was really, really forthcoming with his information. And just, he's been a fantastic guy. He's a nice guy. So I would suggest his stuff for sure. Let's see, too fast. Here we go. His bottom lip is now too thin. Let me see here. I can show you a preview of what my anatomy section of my course looks like if you'd like to see it. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, so I like to show it off. So when you log into the course, you have week 2 stylized anatomy challenge, and here's some anatomy training. So I go through blocking out anatomy in with blocking, how to block out anatomy, just how to do feet and females, all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in that, there you go. Hey Tolkien, Proco has a new channel for clay sculpting, but a lot of it translates to digital. Yeah, for sure. SK, I'm a student of learning 3D. Which one is good for doing, head or whole body for learning? I'm now going through slump, and any advice? I would just block out characters, just in general. So heads, bodies, anything you want. Just block it out and make it look good. Don't rush to the final result. Don't run to detail. Just block out character after character until you're comfortable with it. Hey NLT, how are you? Would you happen to know how much character artists start out at? Looked up median, it says about 52 yearly. Will you be in the field for many years? Is this accurate? I would say for starting out, yeah, something like that. I mean, it was much lower when I started out, but it just depends on where you live. Like in LA or New York, you'll be commanding much higher rates than if you're living in like Oklahoma or something else, you know? So it really depends on where you live and the company, more importantly, the company that you're working for, where they are located. So yeah, that makes a big difference. Do you plan on the character being rigged? No, I usually 3D print my characters, not rig them and animate them. So as you can see behind me, I have all these 3D printed characters. These are all my characters that I've done. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah. So let's make the head. I really got to think about this. How I want the section that is perplexing me is this right here, and how I want to curl that around. Because usually you want to do your characters in a neutral pose, and this is almost pretty much in an expression. He's got a pulled smile, so it's not very neutral. So I need to figure that out. Let's see. Let's save it. Okay, let's see. I think I might pull him out of a smile and neutralize him a little bit so I can get that. And then I'll pull him back up into that smile after I get the topology done. Because I'm gonna I want some actual flesh to be crossing this little bridge right here, to go around in a circle. I might just put a piece in there. Let's go lighter. Split it off. Okay. Hey Ashley, how are you? Gosh, I keep missing your streams. I'm so sorry. Like, when you stream, it's just, I'm always like in the middle of something. How are you? So Ashley's another streamer here on the Maxon Pixelogic live stream channel. I don't even know what to call it. Is it, do you call it, I just call it ZBrush Live, I guess. Here on ZBrush Live. How are you? And I really appreciate you dropping by my streams. But, so Ashley, maybe I should ask you this. I'm trying to neutralize his expression, and I'm gonna run a Z remesher around this so I can have, you know, the circular loops. Trying to figure out, because I want to combine everything, but I wanted a little piece of flesh right there so I could pull it up and kind of bury it up underneath the cheek, you know? Anyway, do you think this will work? Hopefully it's going to work. Hey, from France. In your mentorship, is Maya required? No. Yeah, I do all the time. Would you consider the second ref image on the top row to be a neutralish mouth pose? Are you talking about this one? Or this? I don't think any of these are neutral. Because he's got frowny eyes and frowny mouth, and yeah, I consider a neutral pose kind of, well, not, I don't want him smiling, so. I mean, he's smiling a little bit, not as much as he was. Okay, so let's combine this, and then we'll do our little. Man, I'm still debating on whether I want to combine this muzzle with the rest of his head, because I really like the edge that it creates, but then again, I don't at the same time. It's kind of hard to. I'll probably end up combining it. It's too. It's nice, but it's too difficult to manage. So okay, I'm gonna stop talking. We'll just do it. Hey, Ethan. No relation. Got some good results with Zero Mesh using Polypaint. Yeah. My favorite thing to do is poly groups. Isn't it a rule that when A-Cube shows up in chat, you have to use a snake hook brush for a while? Yes. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to combine these three pieces. Let's save it first. Always save before doing crazy things. I'm actually going to save this into a 7. Okay. So I want to apply the dynamics to all of these. This one. And then remove the lower levels. Okay. So this one, this one, this one. Merging down. Merging down. Okay. So now what we've ended up with is this. And I need to fill in this gap. Hello from Ukraine. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay, what's going on? Turn off dynamic. Oh, do you guys work together, the same studio? Did I know this? I think I knew this and I forgot. I apologize. I saw it on Twitter. So Twitter is where they talk about it a lot. So yeah, go check it out on Twitter. Hello from India. Hello. Hey, Mr. Theo, how are you doing? Okay. This looks like a puppet of some sort now. I was there with Mike only very briefly. I was a contract sculptor till the team was built up. I've flown away with the wind. As you do. So many times lately I regret merge down. If you are afraid of it, then just duplicate all of your subtools and then merge them together, or yeah, put them in folders. Yeah, that works too. I had the pleasure of retopologizing a few of the Rockstar sculpts. Ah, how would it be? Okay, so we're gonna stitch these together. Let's make sure we mirror and weld this first, just to make sure we are perfectly symmetrical. Romania, we have people from all over the world today. Hello and welcome. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. It means a lot. Did you find all the flaws? No flaws. Okay, let's stitch this thing together. Get it right in the middle. Remesh by union. Accept it. All right, it doesn't feel like anything happened, but we're stitched. All right. All right, Thomas, yeah, no worries. Check it out. Okay, I'm just going to put this whole thing in one poly group, and then we're going to let's just do this. Whoops. Let's do... Basically, I'm filling this with tessimation geometry. And it caches what you had before you touch that tessimate slider. And I just pulled that tessimate slider out from over here under tessimate. Wherever it is. Maybe it's under geometry, tessimate. There it is. Geometry, tessimate, right there. That's the slider. So essentially, it flood fills your mesh with Sculptress Pro geometry, if that makes any sense, which is made up of quads and tris, and it kind of just flood fills the whole thing with the same density of mesh across the entire thing. It kind of works like Dynamesh, but it doesn't give you those, it doesn't melt your model, like it doesn't shrink it a little bit like Dynamesh does. It doesn't rebuild the surface in the same way, and it doesn't bridge gaps like between your fingers, or if I had the lips closer together, it doesn't bridge those gaps. So I really, really love Tessimate. I advise you to check it out if you haven't yet. You're the only witness I have who knows I do hard surface sometimes. Sure you do. I don't believe it. Okay. Pictures or it didn't happen. That is a lot of geo, but you know, that's digital sculpting for you. It's funny because I spent, 15, 16 years box modeling in Maya. So coming to ZBrush, I had to turn my brain upside down and think about it backwards. Because yes, it is a lot of geo. It's actually 54,000 triangles. There you go with the blue. Okay, so now what I want to do is make an area for the retopo or ZRemesher to follow. So I'm going to grab this and just pinch it right around this corner because I want that edge loop to flow right around there. Smooth this out a little bit. You'll see the magic that is ZRemesher here in a moment. Okay, and so now we're going to go through and define our polygroups and our loops. But before I do that, I want to merge it with the head. See this head? Is that scary or what? Oh gosh. There you go, Mr. Frankie. Okay, we are going to put that all in one. Okay, and then we're going to merge it down with the mouth. And again, I want to save it. Okay, here's our head. Where's our mouth? Let's go up here. I'll just look at those two together. Okay. Hey, Ika, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Everybody liked that. Looks like someone smashed that like button so hard, dude's jaw disintegrated. Boo! Don't make me laugh or you'll put me into a coughing fit. And then I won't be able to stop. Oh, my goodness. How is your cough, Ash? Are you over? You still have that? Yep. Some zombie movie. Some missing lower jaw. Okay. So I'm picturing like an edge loop going around like this, and then another one going up and over his nose and down around like that. Oh, yeah. The cough is still, it's hanging on. It's hanging on. Oh, that's good. Someone said 30 days. I haven't, it's only when I talk a lot that I end up coughing. And hey, thanks live stream. We're going to make you cough a lot. If I'm quiet, it just doesn't happen. It's good. Hey, Layla, how are you? Thank you very much. Okay. So let's combine these. Save it again. I'm going to end up with 50 iterations of this before I'm done. Okay, merging down. Merging down. Okay, now we're together. In fact, I'm going to keep that that poly group because that's where I want it. I want it to put an edge loop right around that. Okay. But I need to stitch this together. Reset this together. Stitchy-loo. Okay, where are you? Accept. Turn on symmetry. And now we still have, see, this is what's so nice about using remesh by union rather than dynamesh. Look at how clean that edge is right there. Super clean. Not that it really matters with ZRemesher because it'll kind of overlook the lumps and bumps, as you'll see here in a moment. But yeah, I'm going to keep that as a clean poly group. And then I just use masking like so. And we're going to make a poly group that goes around like this. I hope I have enough geometry to make this happen. I'm going to go right up to the edge of this. I don't know how well this is going to do, but we'll see. You just hit Control W to make a new poly group. I honestly have no idea how the animation in VFX is in India, so I can't really answer that question. But in the US, it's strong. Do auto groups. Let's turn on double. And I've never worked in film or VFX. I've only worked in games and collectibles. Just so you know. That's my lane. But film characters are very similar to game characters. They're getting closer and closer all the time. Okay, I think I'm going to make a poly group right there. Just to separate those two. Maybe I can carry it through. I'm just talking through what I'm doing here. I don't want to do too many. I'm just trying to help ZRemesher do its thing. And it's not always necessarily the more poly groups, the better. It's just like a guide to help it along. You just want to look out for rogue triangles, and you don't want the same color to be close to each other. See how these are both green? This is darker, this is lighter. I will go in there and I'll make it a completely different color. Just against each other. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it can be red, but you want a pretty high contrast so it'll pick it up. Otherwise, if it's too close, it will just think they're both the same poly group, and it'll just kind of ignore it. Oh, looks like we have a little. You know, I can get rid of that. Let's see. Auto group. Oh, and maybe not. I got to keep that bit around, or I can combine it with this one. Yeah, I'm going to combine it. Gosh dang it. Come on, green. There we go. Let's do yellow. Okay. And then I want a loop to go up and around the nose. Like this. Here, let me go behind the nostril. I don't know how well this is going to do. It's getting pretty crunched between the eyeball and the nose right there. You gotta be careful. I don't want it to be over here. Sorry, this is kind of a tedious work. Not the funnest to watch. And then I go right up to that edge to make sure I capture all of those triangles. Because if I have any loose triangles, it's going to try and ZRemesh them as if they were a different poly group. And it might even crash ZBrush, so you have to be super careful not to do that. Okay. And then let's just make, I'm not going to go crazy inside this ear. I'm just going to kind of make a ring around it so the loops know where to go. Like that. And then around the eyes, I like to do a couple rings. One in the middle. Oops. Let's just isolate this one. See, if you hide all the poly groups, there's a better chance that you won't create little mini groups. Hey Marcus, loved your method of blockout, and you're a great teacher. Congrats, man. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. Thank you so much for letting me know. I really appreciate it. What? No, I want to enable dictation. Let's turn this off for just a second. Making a mess. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's obviously, it's just kind of loose. But you want it to kind of get, kind of be close. And follow the contours of your object here so it's more predictable. So I'm going to try and have a poly loop going underneath this eyelid and then another one going over the top of it. And I might extend it out here. It's not always the best idea. Have I used edge loop mask border? I have. It does create cleaner topology situations, but sometimes having cleaner edges doesn't necessarily help the Z-remesher. If the Z-remesher kind of has a loose guideline, it almost ends up being better for the algorithm. That's just in my experience, in my personal experience. So I might be up in the night. Oh, looks like I made some rogue faces there. I might be smoking doobies. But in my experience, this one might be a little too small. I don't like to go... yeah, this is masking and regrouping. Kind of what the Easy Remesher plugin does, yeah. And Z-Remesher is... it's very much like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So you just try and do your best. Polish by groups before Z-remeshing really helps simple... Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so to see these little rogue faces that I missed, how to add those to a poly group. See, they're the same poly group as the rest of the head. So if I go and I hold down Control plus Shift and click on a sharing vertice, if I tap on here, you'll see it saves the yellow and this teal color right here, but I don't want to group the head with this thing. So I can do a couple things. No, I think I will. I can do an auto group, but I'm going to have to mirror and weld it. So auto group, what that does is that groups loose islands into their own polygroups. And since this ear is by itself, the nose is by itself, it put them in separate groups. And plus that eye ring now pulled in those rogue triangles, so now we're good to go. But doing auto groups does not recognize symmetry, so you can see this and this are different polygroups, and the ears are different polygroups. So what I can do is unhide everything, and then just do a quick mirror and weld, and we're back to symmetrical and good to go again. Okay, so I'm going to put a face mask around this whole bit. I like to do that. Going up to the eyebrows and down around the eye socket and across. Gotta be careful through that little tiny bridge. I don't know. Z-remesher is probably going to cry at this little bridge right here. It's like, I don't know what to do. You're trying to ask me to put all this geometry, pack it into that little bridge. We'll see what happens. And then sometimes, I don't know whether I want to keep this whole thing or not. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to see what it does. If it gives me grief, I'll excuse me, I'll add one more polygroup in there. Okay, let's see. See if I got them all. Oop, looks like I made one down there. If I knew what I was doing. There we go. Jeez. Hotkeys, people. All right. Now I just need to make sure I don't have same colored polygroups next to other polygroups. And then here we go. We're going to try it and see what we get. It's probably going to be a total mess, but hey. And ZRemesher will also look for peaks and valleys, so it will most likely do a good job with the bottom of the neck. I don't need a polygroup down there. And same, I probably don't need polygroups in the ear. It'll just use the peaks and valleys and just make its own whatever it decides. So yes, Neil, thank you. I'm gonna save this thing as a next iteration. Okay, here we go. It's probably gonna be a mess, but here we go. Now I like to go, if I have really tiny poly loops around areas, I like to go very high with my ZRemesh and then half it as I go back down. I learned that from Joseph Drust, so thank you, Joseph. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the line so you guys can see it better. There we go. And then Mike said polish. Did you say polish by features, Mike? So under deformation, or polish by groups, I guess. There you go, polish by groups. So now look at these hard edges, or these really choppy 8-bit edges. If I do polish by groups a little bit, yeah, you'll see it clean those up a little bit better. There we go. It's ZRemesher will do that on its own, but yeah, we'll try it out and see how it goes. Thanks for the advice, Mike. Hack again. Okay, here we go. ZRemesher, let's not crash. Smooth groups brush works well too. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so what I'm going to do is keep groups. I'm going to turn the smoothing down to almost 0. I don't want to smooth those out very much. Hey Kenya, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, there is a smooth groups brush, and it basically works the same, but polish by groups is similar, but it does it to the entire mesh all at once. So it kind of saves you a bit of time. Okay. Keep creases, no. Detect edges, no. Target polygons. Now this means 5,000. So I'm going to take it on up to, like, let's go 15. And I'll leave adaptive size at the default. And here we go. Oh, it could explode. It could just go, what in the heck are you trying to do? This is garbage. Hey. I don't know what it did until I show the lines. Okay. So ZBrush really likes loops, and it doesn't like terminations. What I mean by that is, see how this loop is looking really nice? It's double faces all the way up and across. I don't know where these guys come from. These little single, I always get those. But see where this bit just kind of terminates into this line? That's where you get like an issue like this. But it's not bad overall. Okay, and sometimes these little red single groups like this, they'll get ignored when I hit half it. So I'm going to try half it. So you just hit half right here, hit ZRemesher and see what happens. It could be worse, it could be better. It looks better. See, weird. It moved that little red diamond down to this one now. That's really strange to me. Okay. But I think, you know what? I think what I want to do is give this and this a little bridge between to connect. And see what that gives us. So I'm going to undo this. Back to here. Hey there, nope, it kind of looks like that though, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to isolate this one, and this one. like that. And then I'm just going to mask across here like so. I don't know if this is going to work, honestly, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. It might, again, it might be too narrow of a bridge to cross for ZRemesher. We'll see. Okay. Okay, that's a really narrow bridge. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to go a little bit higher. Let's save it again. I'm going to go a little bit higher with my remesher count. You never want to take it all the way up, though. Let's turn off half. Let's go 20. Try that. Okay, so a bit of a better result here. I think when I half it, it might give us an even better result. And I think going up and, but see the termination right here has given us kind of weirdness. Smooth that out a little bit. Smooth this out a little bit. Give it some more room. And yes, I'm going to have to rebuild some of these eyelids in here. But for the most part, I think it's given us what we want. Okay, I'm just looking in his mouth. It's not bad. Okay. Let's half it. See what we get. Not bad. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Just smooth that out just a little bit. Sometimes it helps if you smooth things out because the ZRemesher is, like I said, it's trying to follow the peaks, the valleys, and the poly groups. So it gets a little confused. But I'm going to try just doing this. You can hit same. And it will just redo it. And it looks like it's given me some grief in here, but it fixed this, which is good. And it gave me some grief here, but that's okay. Okay, so do you know animation? Area animation? I don't. Okay, let's looks like it made a hole in here. So let's do a close holes. No, something's going on in here. Okay. That's really strange. Sometimes it works better if you actually delete the center inside the eye and then ask it to remesh around there. I might try that. See, it's got some weirdness going on here. That's really weird. And I don't work for Pixelogic. I am just a volunteer here, just demoing the software. And I actually love the UI. I have no problems with it. Because it's very customizable, and I can make it be whatever I want it to be. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to add this polygon to this purple poly group and see what happens. So how you can do that is you go to ZModeler, hover over this, hit poly group, a single poly, and then if you hover over this, see it says poly group of poly. So if I were just to click, it would just give me a new poly group like this. That's not what I want. I want to eyedrop the poly group from here and place it on these two. So if you see it says shift pick, so I'm going to click, then hit shift, then let go, and now it's in my my eyedropper, and now I can paste it here and paste it here. So now that's how you can put rogue faces in a new poly group. So hopefully when I hit half it or same, I'm going to try same on this. So same, remesh. So same will just remesh it using the exact same poly count, but it will look at things and try and fix them. So see, it got rid of that issue that I was having with the eye. It gave me a nice bridge going through here. Nice bridge through here. Yeah, I'm happy with this. This is good. This is very good. The only thing I'm really seeing, there's a weird pulls here, but honestly, that's minimal. Minimal. I wouldn't say I love it. I would say I don't have a problem with it. There you go. I've used it for 7 years. 7 years, and so I'm just used to it. I've made my own user interface, which you can get for free, by the way. If you like my interface, you can go grab it over at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Scroll about halfway down the page, and you can get this interface. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have this, very diplomatic. Yeah, I don't love it, but I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so now what I want to do is take, and I got rid of the original, didn't I? Oh goodness. Okay, well, that's not good. I should have duplicated this before I z-remeshed it, but what you can do is duplicate, and now I have the history of the original, and I can roll that history all the way back to where I have the poly paint and before I z-remeshed it. That's what I want, because I want to project this. In your opinion, for 3D printing, is it necessary to poly group? No, it's not. No. But for doing posing, like I'm going to be pushing this mesh around in extreme poses. So it's much better to have edge loops that follow the edge flow that I'm going to be pushing into deformation, kind of like what you would use for animation. So that's why I'm spending the time to make good edge flow like this, because I'm going to be pushing it around. But for 3D printing, you don't, unless you're going to be making a whole bunch of poses like this, you don't really need to do that. Oh, thanks so much, Holt. I appreciate it. Hey, Alec, how are you? Thanks. Okay, so now I rolled this back in history to where we have the poly paint. Hey, Peter's Animation, how you doing? I love that icon. It's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hide everything except for the original and this. So now we just have these two meshes showing, and I'm going to project the original onto this one. So you can just use project. Also, my user interface comes with this menu right here. It's a custom menu I made of all of the most common items that I use from the tool menu. So I'm not having to dig down inside this tool menu. It's all right at the top. And then all of my most used brushes are down here. So you can get quick access to those. And these are some brushes that I've made or I've tweaked that I've found. So anyway, you're happy to grab those. Happy to share them. Okay, so project all. There we go. Now, it didn't project the poly paint. I want to make sure that I'm projecting poly paint. Geometry and color. It should have. That's weird. Okay, make sure there's no mask on here. And then I want to subdivide it a couple times. Project it again. Yes. Okay. Yeah, totally. Okay, subdivided again. So now it's 1.7 million polys. Project it again. going to take a minute. Is this working how I want it to? What is going on here? It's not. Okay, hold on a second. My subdivisions aren't subdividing how I want them to. Okay. Get rid of some of these weird edges here. Is manual retop still pretty cumbersome? Yes. These are all my models. These are all ones I've sculpted myself. With different designers. He'd make a great diver. Yep, or a cozy blanket is my new favorite thing. Quad draw's great too. Okay, so let's try it again. Did I lose? This is what I want to project. Okay. It's not the smoothest, but it'll work. Okay. That's what was happening. I was projecting something weird. Please don't spam the channel, thanks. Ugh. Let's see. It's like every time now, every single time. Okay, there we go. Now we can clean this up. This is projected. Because now I have subdivision levels and I can get rid of all these lumpy bits that Sculptris Pro likes to leave. Just kind of do a once over with all the smoothing. See, you can't really tell the difference between the subdivided mesh and the new or the old Sculptris Pro mesh. I don't want to smooth out this crease too much. Okay. There we go. And my ruler. So now that I have this all with good good mesh flow, it makes it much easier to pose and move around than the Sculptris Pro version. Okay. So sometimes you have to just kind of work through that, and even though it doesn't look that much different, excuse me, on the surface, you still have to go through that in order to do it. Okay, so let's save this off again. Now that we have him where we want him. Solidly Android PC, yeah. Yep. And I think they're quite a ways out on the Android stuff. Okay, so I'm about to wrap this guy up, but All right, for the very last part of this, I can show you my this model, this Pirate Girl model, if you want to see. This is Boba Fett, and there's a mouse right here. Let me show you really quick. I don't know if my headphones will reach back there, but we can try it. Let's pop to full cam. Hi. So, yeah, let me bring some up. Hold on. See if the camera will focus on it. There you go. Da, 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 da. Oh, they know. Cricket, they know. I've talked to the main developer about it. So they know. I'm hoping Maxon can help them out because it's in Cinema 4D. I mean, if anything, they're working on a handshake, I think. I mean, I'm just guessing, but being able to send models over to Cinema 4D and back, you know, that would be my first guess. That would be what they're working on. Here's another one. How high of a poly count? I honestly, I don't pay attention to poly counts at all because it doesn't matter. I just decimate it and send it over to the printer. So this is another one I did. Yep, it's resin. This was printed on a Form 3. This was printed on an Envision Tech. This is the Boba Fett I did for Disney Infinity. Come on, focus. Come on, sync. There you go. Yeah, so this is the actual sculpt I did for the game. So thank you very much. I'm gonna yank my cord out. Oof, there goes her head. This one's not glued together yet. Let me put her head on. There we go. This is Kate from an old game called No One Lives Forever. This is from the original 3D character workshop that I did. So, yeah, I have her. I need to paint these. Yeah. Yeah, Envision Tech. So, yeah, the printer. Yep, No One Lives Forever. Yep. That's my take on it. Yeah, it's 3D printing. Cad Bane next to Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know where you're looking. I don't know. Probably. Is the Form 3 better than the Elegumart? I have a Saturn II right here that I still need to set up and try, but I have a Form 2 and a Form 3. I love them to death. I love them. But not everybody has form printers because they're expensive. I mean, relatively expensive. I got mine used, and they're around $2,000 to $3,000 each. This is my cowboy. I haven't glued him together. Yeah, I would bring him over, but he would fall apart. So, anyway, I'm gonna set up my Saturn II and get it printing, and I was gonna compare the quality of the prints on both, you know, and just kind of see how it goes. But the Saturn, I got it it was like 500 and something bucks. Yeah, it's the prices of printers are coming way down, and it's amazing. Oh, so okay, let me go this way. So see this dinosaur with the cowboy on it right there? Yeah, he's the cowboy reposed in a standing pose, but his arms are laying on the ground because I haven't glued them together yet. I still need to put them together because I wanna paint him before I put him together. And if I glued him all together, there would be things in the way. So like his hat comes off and his head comes off and his body comes off halfway. So I can get up in there and paint everything. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Thanks again for hanging out. It's been fun. Thanks for letting me show off my crap. I love showing off my 3D prints. It's so fun to do. So fun. So if you want to learn how to make characters like this, I teach a course. I actually teach a course walking you through how I made Kate from No One Lives Forever. That's one of them. And I teach you how to do like hair and anatomy and clothing and all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out at 3dcharacterworkshop.com. And I also give away my user interface and my brushes for free. So you can go check that out at the same place, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. So yeah, I need a t-shirt that says that. Too funny. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. And have a wonderful week. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you next Monday. Cheers. Thanks, everybody. Later. Bye.